What's up everyone, we're back with another Minecraft Explains video. Today we're going to be building the logos for the UN SDGs or the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, while talking about what each SDG stands for and why they're important to sustainable development. As you can see, I've already done the canvas stuff, so we're just going to have to build, so we can just crack on. Let's go. Okay, I'm going to have to do all the explanation in a voiceover because quite quickly I realized I literally can't multitask, and everything that came out of my mouth when I hit record was just nonsense and made no sense, and I could not just read the notes nor look at the icon and then have to build it all at the same time. But yeah. SDG 1, no poverty. The aim for SDG 1 is to end poverty in all of its forms everywhere. Poverty is the root cause for many global challenges, including inequalities, hunger, lack of education, and poor health, continuing a vicious cycle of deprivation. Ending poverty improves standard of living, reduces inequalities, and gives them fundamental human rights such as the right to shelter, right to food, etc. There are two types of poverty, relative poverty and absolute poverty. Relative poverty means that the household income is lower than the median income of a particular place or country. And while median, like throwback to middle school math, is the middle value, not the average income, nor the most common. Absolute poverty relates to those living on or below the poverty line, where they do not have the resources for basic survival needs. The World Bank in 2022 has updated the extreme poverty line to $2.15. So the SDG 2 is no hunger, which aims to eradicate hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Similar to poverty, hunger threatens the right to the standard of living, weakens populations, and increases threats to good health. As climate change worsens and biodiversity collapses, access to food will progressively become more difficult, and with that, increasing food prices. Eradicating hunger through sustainable agriculture ensures food security, improves human health, and the health of ecosystems. SDG 3 is good health and well-being. And its aim is to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. As you might notice, there are lots of overlaps or intersections in the SDGs. Health is a fundamental human right and a critical driver for economic progress, productivity, and resilience. By strengthening global and national health systems and improving knowledge to good health, healthier populations lead to increased life expectancy, improving their ability to be productive for society. SDG 4 is quality education. It aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Education is empowerment. It empowers individuals to shape their life, to break the cycle of poverty, reducing inequalities, and promote social equity for many countries. Education is essential in addressing global challenges, driving sustainable development, and ensuring that the SDGs are met. SDG 5 is gender inequality. It aims to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. A whole goal on women's rights. We love to see it. But at the same time, it is upsetting that we are still at a place where we still need a goal like this. This goal addresses gendered issues from child marriage, gender discriminatory laws, to unequal representation in leadership and decision-making roles. And this is important to sustainable development as it promotes the social pillar of sustainability while driving economic growth and productivity through improving the diversity of capabilities and strengths. SDG 6 is clean water and sanitation. It aims to ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. We are still at a position globally where safe drinking water is not accessible for billions. I'm sure we must have seen pictures and videos of people, especially women and children, walking for hours to fetch water, and is not always clean or safe to drink. Climate change, pollution, and some agricultural practices and population growth threatens freshwater scarcity. Clean water and sanitation is essential for health and our ecosystem. It reduces diseases, support freshwater ecosystems like wetlands, and promote gender equality by freeing up time spent fetching water. SDG 7 is clean and affordable energy. It aims to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. As my high school physics teacher would say, energy is the core center to life. As we phase out fossil fuels, we are more and more reliant on clean and renewable energy to thrive. But clean energy is more than just renewable energy. Reducing pollution and providing opportunities for education, productive, and economic activities is also a matter of safety. This could look like walking in the dark, where they could be subject to prey from the wild or humans, and relying on unsafe cooking systems where incomplete combustions from these systems could lead to carbon monoxide poisoning. Access to clean, reliable, and sustainable energy is crucial for safety, health, and improving standards of living overall. SDG 8 relates to decent work and economic growth. It aims to promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Amongst all the SDGs, I personally think this is the one that makes governments most happy because that was what development used to look like, and that's what they're moving towards anyway. Decent work reduces poverty, supports economic stability, and provides personal security financially, and maybe even social security. It also addresses a very important issue that's been discussed a long time: slavery. More specifically, modern slavery. SDG 8 is crucial in ensuring labour rights and enforcing policies that foster sustainable industries and employment. SDG 9 is called Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure. It aims to build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. The manufacturing and industrial sectors are one of the biggest greenhouse gas emitters, which this goal addresses the decarbonization of the industrial sector. Economic growth, economic resilience, and environment may benefit by increasing access to modern infrastructure and adopting sustainable practices. SDG 10 is reduce inequalities, and it aims to reduce inequality within and among countries. We've already talked about gender inequalities. SDG 10 branches it one step further and addresses racial inequalities, age inequalities, wealth inequalities, and more. Unequal societies and economies are a threat to peace and sustainable development. Unjust environments create social unrest and economic inefficiency. Having an inclusive and equitable society fosters social cohesion, economic stability, and social security. SDG 11 relates to sustainable cities and communities. It aims to make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. As urbanization increases, it may drive economic growth, but it also causes a strain on resources and threats to human health and security. Unsustainable cities often neglect marginalized communities: the poor, the sick, the old, those with populations living in subpar conditions such as slums or in climatically vulnerable areas. Cities also often experience pollutants of all kinds: air pollution, water pollution, light and noise pollution. SDG 11 promotes a better quality of life for all populations and communities whilst not compromising the environment nor our future. SDG 12 is sustainable or responsible consumption and production. It aims to ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. Consumerism is one of the biggest drivers of environmental damage, especially when high-income countries capitalizes on lower-income countries' keenness to produce cheap products at the expense of their environment. The way that we are consuming at the moment continued the lack of labor rights, as companies and corporations are more likely to produce in places where they can spend less on labor costs. Sustainable and responsible consumption and production promotes labor rights, supports sustainable business practices, and circular economy. SDG 13 is climate action, and it aims to take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. I'm sure we all know, climate change threatens our ecosystem, our livelihoods, and our economies worldwide. Climate action targets the steps we need to take in ensuring that our planet Earth stays habitable and that we are reversing the devastating effects of climate change for future generations. Climate action currently takes in the form of international policies like the Paris Agreement, investments in decarbonization and renewable energy, and allocating funds for climate mitigation, climate adaptation, and loss and damage. SDG 14 is Life Below Water. It aims to conserve and sustainably use oceans, seas, marine resources for sustainable development. This is the first half of the Biodiversity and Ecology SDGs. We are dependent on our aquatic ecosystems, whether it's food, as a carbon sink, or in maintaining and regulating our climate. The UN SDGs has highlighted 5 key pillars of the ocean crisis: coastal eutrophication, ocean acidification, ocean warming, plastic pollution, and overfishing. This goal aims to protect the marine environment, which I think is sometimes neglected or forgotten as it is harder to assess and regulate than life on land, which leads to SDG 15, Life on Land. It aims to protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably manage forests, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation and halt biodiversity loss. This was copy and pasted from the UN page, by the way. That's grammatically confusing. Anyway, this is the second half of the Biodiversity and Ecology SDGs. Life on Land tackles everything that's, well, on land, spanning from soil to flora and fauna. Forests and terrestrial ecosystems provide vital resources like clean air, water, and food, whilst supporting biodiversity and mitigating climate change. Life on Land aims to protect everything else under the sun, such as endangered species, restoring degraded ecosystems, eliminate man-made deforestation, and encourage sustainable land management practices. SDG 16, the penultimate SDG, is Peace, Justice, and Strong Institutions. It aims to promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, promote access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. Good governance is the foundation of all forms of development, and sustainable development is no exception. None of these goals will be addressed if peace, justice, nor strong institution existed. Peace nationally, peace internationally, and the protection of human rights are all crucial in sustainable development. Last but not least, partnership for the goals. It aims to strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. No country alone can solve economic instability, social injustices, and the climate crisis by themselves. International cooperation is crucial for sustainable development. Partnerships and teamwork amplify the good that's done, and globally, nations can support each other in their flaws or their weaknesses. Through fostering international partnerships, having knowledge exchanges, and the sharing of funds and resources, this goal bridges all the sustainable development goals together. Now, this is just the overview of all the SDGs. I highly encourage you to look through them yourselves and look at the stats and what their targets are. However, well, I feel that these videos always have like a big fat but at the end. However, as much as these goals might look good on paper, why are we not achieving them yet? And even more, why are the issues addressed by every one of these goals still so prevalent? Why is the rate of climate change rapidly increasing? Why is there still racism, gender inequality, slavery? Why do people still need to walk miles for fresh water? Why do conflicts still persist, now more than ever? If you've made it this far, comment down below your critiques on the SDGs, or head to the Discord server for a discussion with others. I really hope this video kickstarts some well-needed conversations on what good governance looks like, and what we can do knowing what we know. For now, it's Tang Li out.